mound. He's got a good fastball. He's got a 4-pitch mix, a fastball, a curveball, a slider, and a changeup. The big thing for him is those secondary pitches.
Starts out with a heater at 93, and away we go.
He needs to throw his secondary pitches. Every once in a while, he'll get in the tendencies of kind of just babying, meaning just trying to aim. When he throws them, they're elite.
He's ahead 0-2 as he flashes his first secondary to Zach Morris. First team All-ACC second baseman and a transfer from VMI. Third on the team with that OPS mark, and he's got a team high 18 home runs. He's out in front of the breaking ball.
Yeah, 3 home runs so far in this tournament. He has been doing it all, 10 RBIs. And they call him the Sergeant because he went to VMI. And the guys have a lot of fun with him. We had him on an interview, and everybody was giving the big salute behind him.
Gas up the ladder at 92 from Carson Dorsey, who starts the day with a K.
And Dorsey just showing off that fastball. You know, when we talked to Link Jarrett, he says there's a lot of flashes of Jamie Arnold on the mound with a guy like Dorsey because of that fastball and the way he's able to ride it up in the zone.
Good heater to start for Dorsey, who got roughed up 2 days ago here. Starts out with ball 1 to Ben Miller. 5th-year senior third baseman, also first team All-ACC. Originally from Durham, but says he grew up a North Carolina fan. 23-year-old, transferred in from Penn, and has a 6th year available as well. So he very well could be back with the Blue Devils for another go-round.
It'll be interesting because he's had himself quite a year, hitting .371, has shown power with 13 home runs, nice double rate with 18. He's a guy that I think scouts are looking at, and he might be a surprise to a lot of people where he goes in the draft. And the stash is the greatest in college baseball.
It's been the talk of the season.
It's the talk of everything. And when you look at him,
spits on a breaking ball, 3-1.
Got to talk with him. He puts wax before the game, puts a little bit of hair gel to make sure that it stays secure. There's a lot of work to go in it. I asked, mate, during the game, do you have to touch it up? He goes, no, don't need to touch it up. It stays right where it's at.
Slow release. Pops it foul, 3-2. He said, I figured now is the right time in my life to do it because I've got the baseball excuse whenever anyone asks questions about the mustache. And we can assure you, you ask the questions, everybody asks the questions. And that concludes the facial hair part of the program. 3-2 is popped up in foul ground, and that will reach the seats.
And here's the thing, I don't want to get away from the stash because this is his picture without the stash earlier this year. Started growing it in October, which to me is incredible because I have tried to grow mine to do the same exact thing and the wife makes me cut it off. I can't do that, and he's got that nice little twirly going.
Yeah, he told his mom that he would shave for media day back in the fall. So he was clean shaven for that headshot that is everywhere.
Said, I'm done shaving.
3-2. And he pulls this on a line to left, and Jaime Ferrer runs it down for out number 2. So in this loaded ACC, we've got the 6-seed Duke and the 5-seed Florida State. A couple of teams, as we told you, ranked top 20 in the country and trying to win a championship crown. There's AJ Gracia, freshman from New Jersey, who was third team All-ACC. Very patient for a rookie.
He is very patient. He really doesn't swing at the first pitch much. He will go up there. He makes a pitcher work. Got good power.
Dorsey's 1-0. In the air, opposite way, slicing toward the line, and foul. And Gracia's had a really good year against Florida State in their 3-game series, where it was actually the Noles who took 2 of 3 at Duke despite the best efforts of Gracia.
Hitting over 500 against Florida State, and that's something to be said because this Florida State team has a very good starting pitching staff and they have a really good bullpen.
The 1-1. Speaking of bullpens, We're going to see a lot of both teams' bullpens today.
We will. They're hoping that Dorsey is able to give them, 45, 55 pitches, somewhere in that zone. But it's also one of those things that when you talk to Link Jarrett, he says, hey, if he's able to give us more, we're going to take it. It all depends on how he is on the mound and how he's throwing the baseball.
There's Link Jarrett. He's done such an incredible job, as we mentioned, with this turnaround for the proud Knowles program. Good take on the breaking ball, and it's a full count for Gracia. Year 2 at the helm for Link Jarrett, trying to win Florida State's first ACC tournament title in 6 years. Dorsey's payoff. Bouncing ball up the middle and a base hit into center for A.J. Gracia with 2 outs here in the first. So Gracia is aboard, and out of the cleanup spot for Duke, and Alex Stone, senior catcher, also from New Jersey, second team All-ACC, has homered twice this week here in Charlotte, including a big fly in the semis against Miami last night. Go-ahead 2-run shot out to center.
Power in Alex Stone bat.
It was a comeback effort for Duke against Miami, who was the Cinderella, if you could call a program with as much history as Miami. Your efforts included, ever if you can call them a Cinderella. But they were trying to do that and win the automatic bid, which they needed to get in.
Yeah, I mean, they coming into this tournament, they were below 500 for the season. They knew that the only way that they would be able to make it to the tournament was just winning this one, and they gave it a good run. They were in a good bracket. They were able to win 2 games, make it to the semis, and then ran into this Duke team. Had them on the ropes there for a little bit, but you knew it was just about time where Duke, if they were in proximity, that they were going to come through, and boy, did they ever, scoring 6 runs in the 8th inning.
3-1 on Alex Stone. Again, you said with Carson Dorsey facing this Duke group today, tops, it's going to be 45, 50 pitches is what Link Jarrett said to us. And sometimes they get the great version, and sometimes it's a little bit different. Stone in the air to center, and Max Williams backs up, and the inning is over. Carson Dorsey posts a 0.
So he can throw that ball up in the zone and get swings and misses.
Drops in a slider to start left on left with Max Williams, who had a big day yesterday for Florida State. 3 for 5 with a home run, 4 driven in, and a great leaping catch in the 6th inning against Wake Forest for the Alabama transfer.
Boy, he was something special in yesterday's ball game. As soon as he made that grab in center field, came up to hit and said, you know what, if you like my grab, how about a 2-run homer?
Not bad doing it on both sides.
Not bad doing it on both sides.
Part of a 42-win Florida State team. There's the fastball at 93, and you mentioned how elite the spin rate is. There's also a ton of ride on the heater and above average run on the fastball as well. What's that mean to a hitter?
Well, the ride, that means the ball's going to stay on plane. So those fastballs that are up usually gravity will kind of bring them down. And guys, that's where that swing path is. Well, guess what? It doesn't go down. It stays straight. So guys just swing underneath it.
Breaking ball floated into shallow center, and Max Williams dumps it down for another knock. He's got a leadoff single against James Talon to start the Knowles first.
Boy, Max Williams stay high. And you look at his average for the season at 294, and you go, what is going on? But he has been extremely high. I mean, this is just a breaking ball in on the hands of slider, where he's just able to get those hands in enough. So powerful, too, to muscle it out to center field. So
he's on for Cam Smith, the superstar sophomore third baseman from Lake Worth, Florida, who somehow was second team All-ACC, and in a couple of weeks will be a first-round pick. This is rocketed to right. Down the line and gone! A Boateng Cam Smith. And Florida State strikes first. Off the bat and just crushed.
My goodness. Cam Smith showing off the opposite field. Power. Gets a fastball. Flips the bat. Knows it. It ain't easy when you hit a ball opposite field and know that it's gone right off the bat. But boy, he crushes this ball 371 feet to right field.
Trying to fire up the Noles as well, who are loving it early on in the title game. So you've got first rounder in Cam Smith, first rounder in James Tibbs, who bounces that one fair to first. Logan Bravo didn't think so, but he gets the out on Tibbs anyway. And James Tibbs thought it was foul as well.
Well, Tibbs thought it was foul, and here comes Link Jarrett to go take a look and talk with the umpire. And this one, boy, that's tough. It's where it goes over the base, and that's what you have to remember. It's where it goes over the base, not where it lands after the base. So if it goes over the base, especially...
So after all that, there's one away for Marco Dinges, cleanup man in DH, third team All-ACC. Link Jarrett, by the way, has been getting his money's worth with some conversations.
There's been conversations throughout this whole tournament.
Dinges strokes it to center, and Devin Obie misjudged it at first, but makes the catch. And there's two away.
Yeah, usually here during the daytime, this ball is going to take off just a little bit more. And I don't think that Devin Obie understood that they just hit this ball 107 miles off the bat. There was going to be some carry to that bad boy. But yeah, talking about Link Jarrett, he's been having a lot of discussions with the umpires. Now, he's not the only one. There's been a lot of coaching staffs that had discussions with the umpires.
Because it means so much.
It does. It means
at this time of the year.
It means a lot, and it's just the firiness in every single one of these coaches in the ACC, where they know, hey, one, you want to win this ACC tournament, and two, all these games mean something for the NCAA tournament, where you're able to then maybe even host a regional or a super regional.
Link Jarrett, who had so much success at Notre Dame, has this group well positioned to lock up a top 8 national seed, which we explained to you the importance for Duke of being a top 16. Top 8 means you would have the right to host the first couple of weekends, of course, through the super regionals on the road to what everyone hopes is Omaha in the College World Series. Two and two on Jaime Ferrer, junior left fielder from Puerto Rico, third team all conference. Talents 2-2, fouled back. And don't flinch.
Don't flinch. You can't flinch. You got to know that there is a net there. Come on, fellas. Oh, they're about to be getting some text saying, hey, we're here.
Part of a great scene all week in Charlotte. Ferrer tugs it foul and peppers his own dugout.
Can we say don't flinch to them too?
Yeah.
Nobody's allowed to flinch.
Used to be 2 for flinching. I don't know if people say that anymore.
I mean, I still do.
You do?
Ah.
Good to know.
Well, I mean, my 2 are going to be harder than your 2.
On the ground is short, and Wallace Clark with the backhand pick and the bounce to Logan Bravo.
2 new coaches, right? He lost Chuck Rustano to Navy, and he lost Rich Wallace to UCF. And I looked at him and I said, did you get any sleep at all? He said no, but obviously, guys, worth it. Yeah,
a couple guys who moved on from his staffs, going back to Notre Dame to be head coaches. And now in year 2, it's been an impressive turnaround, Danny, for Florida State. And we asked Link Jarrett on the field pregame, what's the biggest difference? And as Link Jarrett often does, he gave you multiple reasons for it. But top to bottom in the lineup, you pointed out these numbers offensively. He said they're way more athletic. They've got experience. And then to Danny's point, they've been so focused on roster building and recruiting. And he pointed out to us, he said, last night I spent my evening here in Charlotte before the ACC championship game recruiting.
Yeah, one of the other things too, I mean, and this is something that you'll see out of Link Jarrett's teams, and you saw it at Notre Dame. He took a team that had the worst fielding percentage.
And they'll try to make the play here, and a tough one for Alex Lodis, who couldn't get to it, as Logan Bravo drops one into left field for a leadoff single for Duke in the second.
He took a team that was in Notre Dame that had the worst fielding percentage to the best fielding percentage. And then we look at this FSU team, and last year, 69 errors. Well, he's cut that down by 30. I mean, very good defensive team. This play, oh boy. Lodis almost makes this one. That would have been a spectacular grab.
Made some very good plays at short yesterday for Florida State in that win over a Wake Forest powerhouse. Tom Walter looks like he's got the Deacs back to their normal self. All right, so leadoff man on, and now Chase Cruson, the left fielder, who has really come on strong here down the stretch in the second half of the season. A rookie from Bridgeville, Pennsylvania, who homered here Thursday against NC State and has made some nice defensive plays as well. There's a strike from Carson Dorsey to start.
Yeah, Cruson has just been really, really good. And Coach Pollard even saying his praises of how good he has been playing in left field and how much better he has gotten from the beginning of the season to where he's at right now.
Guy missed his entire senior season of high school with a foot injury. That affected him in the fall here of his freshman year as well. Got healthy, then had a broken hamate bone. But Chris Pollard says the more Chase plays, the more you see the player he is. Fouled away 1-2. A Duke team that won Tuesday against Virginia Tech here to start out pool play. 11-8 win. Then Thursday an 8-1 victory over NC State that Chris Pollard thought was Duke's most complete performance of the season. Then the late offense you mentioned last night in the semis against Miami. And how about Duke pitching as well? Held the Canes to just 2 hits.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you see out of this Duke team. They are so deep in pitching. You get to that bullpen and it doesn't matter who they're throwing out to you. It's going to be a power arm who can strike out guys.
You just got to look at one of the best pitchers, certainly relievers, in the entire country in Charlie Bielenson, who we probably will see today.
I mean, he pitched yesterday and he was absolutely nasty, going 2 1/3 inning. And guess what? Said, yep, he's going to be ready to go today. And you look at what they've done in this ACC tournament. 17 innings pitched, only 9 hits, allowing only 5 runs.
Still 2-2 on Cruson. It's a Duke staff that will get healthier as well as it heads to regionals, wherever they might be next weekend. And that includes potential first-round pick and ace Jonathan Santucci. A little check on Logan Bravo. Jonathan Santucci's been out the last 3 weeks, but threw a bullpen yesterday, looked good. And Chris Pollard told us today the ball was exploding out of his hand.
You talk about Santucci, you also talk about their DH hitter and Kyle Johnson, the freshman. Really good left-handed pitcher.
Here's a freshman in Cruson who singles up the middle, and Duke's got back-to-back base knocks against Carson Dorsey. You wonder where Florida State's at pitching-wise, because you have gone through a couple of lefties in the lineup, and now it's righty, switch hitter, and righty.
That's just a really good job of hitting. It's a fastball up and in and just smacks it right back up the box. Doesn't try to pull it, uses the big part of the field.
Nobody up warming for Florida State, but the wheel's always turning for Link Jarrett. This is Devin Obie, who had a home run yesterday that was loud. 455 feet. He told us pregame on the field he has never hit one farther or harder. He had a
Head, oh my goodness, 455 feet. And listen, I think it was even farther than that. We've seen balls get hit off the scoreboard. Nothing to that effect.
Chris Pollard has said it is 70+ power for Devin Obey on the 20 to 80 scouting scale, with 70 just being elite.
That one last night, yeah, that was 80.
Yeah, you guys are talking about what Pollard said. How about what Eric Tyler said, the hitting coach for this team? He said it's been all about the confidence. Everyone wants to point to something mechanical that Obey's done, but he said he came back from the winter this past year and something was different. When I asked Obey about it, he said, just trust myself more. I have more confidence now. And last year, he wasn't getting regular at bats. That's been part of the difference maker this year. He was also voted a captain, to your guys' point. It's all about the confidence for Devin Obey.
Junior from Nashville with NFL bloodlines from his father. In a big spot here against Carson Dorsey in the title game, who is on the ropes in the second. 3-1. Misses, and it's a 5-pitch walk. And Duke's got him loaded with nobody out.
And how about that pitch, too? That pitch doesn't miss by much, and as a hitter, you might want to be a little bit more aggressive on 3-1.
All right, so meeting over. Bases loaded, nobody out. Duke down by 2 in the title game, and here's Wallace Clark, the Oklahoma transfer. And he gets hit. Duke's on the board, and still nobody out in the second.
Well, and if you were Duke, you had the right guy at the plate, because Clark leads the team in bases loaded with a .571 average. That average ain't going to change, but the RBIs are going to just tick up one more.
Now to the 9th spot in the Duke lineup for the multi-talented Kyle Johnson, who will see a new arm. It's such a balance for Link Jarrett, right? You want to squeeze as many outs out of all your pitchers as you can. But after Cruzen had the second single of this inning, you got to the righties, and he gambled a little bit, it felt like, to try to get some more from Dorsey.
Yeah, he started to jump on that walkie-talkie pretty quickly. He can get himself a ground ball. Really doesn't have a ground ball rate, usually more of a fly ball pitcher. But they're looking to see if he can try to roll one here.
Starts out with a heater, first strike to the rookie we mentioned, Kyle Johnson. This is how both these head coaches will manage this game. So well in tune with the matchups and the splits left and right. Popped up by Johnson, foul, and it's 0-2. Kyle Johnson, the D1 baseball preseason freshman of the year in the ACC. He's played a big part in this Duke pitching staff as well. They're giving him some rest pitching-wise here in Charlotte, but still in the lineup. Short 0-2. Doesn't tempt Johnson.
Yeah, right now for Johnson, just looking for something elevated and up. And he'll get a fastball up in that zone. He'll also get the slider up in that zone. Something that he can just drive to the big part of the field and see if he can tie this ball game up or more.
1-2. Pulled down the line in left, and it's a fair ball into the corner for Kyle Johnson. Cruzen scores with Obey right behind him, and the freshman Kyle Johnson gives Duke the lead.
Boy, he delivered, because prior to today's at-bat, he was 0 for 2 with 2 strikes with bases loaded. Hadn't gotten a hit. Well, guess what? Just got a huge one here. Double down that left field line. Gets a slider that didn't slide, just stayed right there. Boy, he hammers this one. Scoring 2 for Duke, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
This one gets away, but Jackson West pounces on it. You saw Devin Obey rounding the bases. He's like kind of waving himself in. What was that?
Some guys just have that type of run, I guess.
First hit of the tourney for
happy hands.
Kyle Johnson. This is the leadoff man, Zach Morris. Yanks one foul. Look out in the pens. What do we call this exactly?
I say happy hands right here. Happy.
Come on, man.
Come on, go.
Hanyu.
Oh, that's great. I wouldn't tell him that in person. That's a big man.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. What did Chris Pollard tell us on the field pregame? He is not the guy on the team you back into the corner.
You don't want to back him into a corner.
Great guy, but
you know what? I apologize.
Imposing.
That is a great running style.
It's perfect form.
Yep. Perfect form.
Say no more. Swing of the miss. Slider there to Zach Morris. 2-2 on the Duke superstar second baseman. Team high 18 home runs for Zach Morris. No short deals. Up and away. Full count on Morris. Came in from VMI, Virginia Military Institute. He's talked a lot about how nutrition and sleep have played a big part for him this year. On the ground, foul.
Yeah, I mean, it's been huge. You look at what he's done in this tournament. 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. He has been really, really good. Looking to see if he could just get a base hit. All his hits have left the yard.
2 in scoring position, and he strikes out. Glove side fastball fans Zach Morris, and that is the first down of the inning.
This is a big strikeout. Zach Morris, very good hitter. This one just keeps running away from him. Looks like a strike out of hand, and that ball just gets pulled enough. And Zach Morris can't touch it.
So it brings up Ben Miller, who lined out to left his first time, with Clark and Johnson aboard. Pops this one up behind the first base bag, and Drew Farrow takes charge for out number 2.
Well, if Short is able to get out of this inning only giving up those 2 runs, that would be big with bases loaded. Of course, Kyle Johnson coming up huge there with that double. But that was a tough situation to come into if you're Noah Short.
You saw Duke left shaking its head so far. Best bats coming, but so far unable to add on. And now the freshman in the 3-hole, AJ Gracia. Singled up the middle his first time. And lays off the sinker down. Gracia with 47 walks. 5th most in a single season at Duke. He is smart and ultra patient with the bat. In his college debut this year, he actually walked 3 times. Also got called out on strikes. So the next day in the hitters meeting in the morning, his teammates were chirping him. They said, AJ, why don't you swing the bat today? He's worked into a 2-0 count. And Gracia bloops this one into center field, and it drops down a base hit. Clark and Johnson score, and A.J. Gracia comes through for the Blue Devils.
Well, I'm surprised that they even pitched to A.J. Gracia's there, especially with Alex Stone, a righty coming behind. You have first base open, especially in a 2-0 count. I mean, it was a fastball, the sinker in on the hands, but still, you would think with first base open, just throw that ball off. You walk them, you get bases loaded, you have an out anywhere, and you let a righty face a righty. But Gracia coming up big for Duke.
And now the cleanup man, Alex Stone, takes the slider for a strike after he lined out to center his first time. Stone, the senior, who has had 3 straight very good seasons with the bat. That home run we showed you yesterday, the 40th of Alex Stone's career. 3rd most all time in Duke history.
Just a really powerful hitter. Smart, too. Those pitches that are away, he can lower his body, he can stay on. Really does a really good job behind the plate, too, with this pitching staff.
For a Duke team up by 3 here in the 2nd in the ACC championship game. Good slider, 2-2. Again, both these teams will be headed to the NCAA tournament. They will find out their assignments tomorrow on the selection show. 2-2. Fouled away. Duke with 38 wins this year. Ranked 17th right now in the country. 6th seed here in the loaded ACC. It's been a banner year for this conference. Shorts 2-2. Strikes out Stone. Inning over, but Duke explodes. Well, anyway, they'll have analysis and shenanigans. You can also watch it on the ESPN app. Gravy, drink up on that coffee, man. You've been nursing that thing.
He has been nursing that. Well, you know what? I can't make fun of him. I've been nursing mine, too.
Danny Graves, RN. Registered nurse.
Registered nurse. Okay.
Didn't register with you.
It did not register with me for a second. I was like, right now?
I'll keep workshopping it. Bottom 2 in the ACC championship game, and that's a quick strikeout for James Talon against Daniel Cantu, left on left, and that's the very good fastball you mentioned from James Talon.
It really is. It's a good one. That one, 94 miles an hour, and it's up in the zone. And boy, when he's able to throw that guy, it is tough to hit. There's a lot of rise to it for a hitter. You come back to the dugout going, I think that ball went up.
Ooh, and then you got to see a back foot slider as a right-hand hitter, and Alex Lodis to start out after Cantu. Transfer shortstop as a 1-ball, 1-strike count against Talon, who Chris Pollard was telling us pregame. Talon didn't pitch at all in the fall. He was dealing with a hip issue, was still recovering arm-wise as well. So it just took him a little bit to get in gear. But Chris Pollard said to us today, we're really proud of how James Talon developed over the course of the season, has stayed with his process, and he's been really good starting with conference play. 2-2. They were hopeful of getting 2 innings from Talon. This guy was incredible as a freshman last year. 1.64 ERA and set the program's saves record for one season. Good name, too. James Talon.
Talon. I mean, just, yeah. Good arm. Good angle. Throws hard. Great secondary. I mean, you just can go on and on. Oh, boy. And then he's able to do that, and that's one of the things I love the most. Left-handed pitcher being able to throw in to righties.
Line foul. By the way, Danny Graves has chimed in. He said, next time you put me on camera, I will chug the coffee. He said it's his second one of the day. Ninth pitch of the AB on the way.
You just sent him that text so quickly, I couldn't even write it that fast.
I didn't text anyone. I'm broadcasting.
Yeah, your fingers work very, very quickly.
It's called the dramatic tease in broadcasting. That's inside, and that's a hard-earned walk from Alex Lodis. All right, let's see if Danny's a man of his word.
Oh, he's going to have a heart attack. Oh, jeez. Oh.
Look at the guy.
What just happened right now?
Look at Walters. He's like, what is going on?
What's happening here?
Yeah, we don't know either. 1 out, 1 on. This is Drew Farrow. And that is the perch for those guys who've been doing a great job all week on ACC Network.
It's not easy what they've had to do and how much they've had to fill.
On the ground left side, and Ben Miller throws to second, and Zach Morris is turned in time for 2. 5, 4, 3.
Tell you what, this ACC has been a juggernaut this year.
You win 6 of your 10 ACC series,
You should be in.
That is an NCAA tournament team.
And there they are. Right now they're projected as the last four in. I mean, I think they should be, just because of what they did. And when you talk to the coaching staffs, everybody will tell you the same exact thing. Like, oh yeah, they're definitely in. Because, I mean, the ACC this year is the best that it's ever been. And everybody that you ask has said the same thing.
No question. Title game is down to these two, and Duke's up 5-2 on Florida State. And it's 2-1 on Logan Bravo for Duke, with 5, 6, and 7 in the Blue Devils lineup after a 5-run second inning. Two and 2 on Bravo, transfer from Harvard, who's going to turn 25 in a few weeks. What were you like at 25?
I was in AA, about to make my way up to the big leagues.
Not bad.
It wasn't bad at all.
Humble brag, Gabby Sanchez.
You asked me, and I'm supposed to tell you the truth of where I was.
You're an honest man. Pride of the ACC. Fouled back by Bravo. 4 seasons for Logan Bravo at Harvard. Two-time captain there. 2 years ago, a great season with the bat. Last year it dipped a bit, but boys, he surged back up this year. Career high in OPS near 1100. 7th from Noah Short is a strikeout. There's one away. What do you think of that hat?
I didn't see it.
It was a cowboy hat. It looked like it was beer themed.
Then I like it.
Okay.
This is good, just good fastball riding up, especially from a sidewinder where he's throwing that baseball. Oh, that's outstanding. That's fantastic.
On Memorial Day weekend,
Yeah,
no less.
I mean, you have the stars underneath. Perfect.
Chase Cruson fouls one off.
I need to buy that for my brother.
You and Ryan Braun.
That's my brother from another mother.
Cruson a single in the second, came around to score. Nothing at 2.
And this is what FSU is looking for right now. Just somebody to just give them some innings. The last thing that you want to do is just kind of throw everybody that you have in the bullpen. If you're able to get that one guy, and usually that's what happens in these types of games, one guy surprises you where they're able to go deeper and just kind of keep the game right where it's at. 0-2.
Opposite way to left. Jaime Ferrer has got it for out number 2. You know, we're talking about Harvard and 24, 25-year-olds. Duke has done so well in the portal the last few years. I mean, they've really just crushed it for Chris Pollard. And they actually have a player on their team, Chad Knight, one of their veterans, a catcher. Fitting with the Duke academia, he has his own model to evaluate players in the transfer portal. And Duke's coaches have used it.
That's incredible. I believe that I saw something that he did on social media where he named like every single World Series champion. And I even think he even named like the MVP of each team since the beginning of World Series being out there.
It's a 2-minute and 8-second video.
So it is him, right?
Where he does not miss.
It's incredible.
1-1 on Devin Obi, walked and scored in the second.
I met him downstairs that first day. I was with Mike Farron, and we were kind of walking, and he hears Mike Farron's name, and he's like, hey, you're Mike Farron. And we start to talk, and then he's like, wait, you're Gabby Sanchez, first base, Marlins, Pirates. I'm like, this dude knows everything. Like, this is incredible. Yeah, I went to go see you when you were in the minor leagues. I was one of the kids in the sides to get autographs.
No way.
I was like, wow, man, like, this is just, his mind just works for baseball.
Obi pops it up the first base line. West and Cantu on the scene, and Jackson West puts it away. That's a 1-2-3 top here in Charlotte. James Talon goes back out for a 3rd inning of work, and he gets 9-1 and 2 for Florida State. starting with their catcher Jackson West. Sophomore from Tallahassee with more walks than strikeouts, but he's promptly down 0-2 against Talon.
I mean, you look at what Talon's doing right now. He's not really getting tired. That fastball velocity is still at 94 miles an hour, and I guarantee you that's kind of what Pollard is looking at.
Ooh, breaking ball didn't miss by a ton.
And those are the things that when you're talking about a coach like Coach Pollard, he's visually looking at a pitcher. How is he doing? Does he look like he's in the zone? Does that fastball still up there with velocity, 94 miles an hour at that point? Breaking ball still breaking. He's going to let him ride a little bit.
Pollard trusting Talon. The misses have not been big, but it's 3 in a row, and it's a full count on Jackson West.
Right now, just nitpicking that corner, not missing by much.
Preseason first team All-American on the bump. Bouncing ball and Talon gloves. Flips, got to get it there, and he does to retire West.
Hey, here's the thing. Some pitchers cannot throw over the top. They have to be able to flip it. I don't know why it is. They can dot a corner, but for some reason, once they look at first, it's over the top. Nope, I don't care where I'm at. I'm going to flip this bad boy to you.
More of the same from James Talon. Gave up the 2-run home run to Cam Smith, the second batter he faced, and he's been pretty nails since. Just the walk, but then promptly a double play ball. Gets a second look at Max Williams, who singled to center his first time. Let's check in with Danny.
Yeah, you guys were talking about his defense right out there in center field. This is the first year he's playing that position seriously. Also the first year he's leading off for his team. He told me standard positioning out there after that catch he made yesterday. 36 steps from second base. That's his position in center. And then he finds the track, right? He's like, I got 2 more steps. I find the wall with a big smile on his face. And he said, what I like about leading off for this team is that I get to set the tone. My coaches let me be myself. He's usually swinging at that first pitch, but both of those things new for him. And he's loving it. The way he talked about how excited he was to get to do that for his team, you could see it in his eye how excited he was and happy he is to get to do that.
Sophomore Alabama transfer from a Florida State family. Now starring for Link Jarrett with a fisted foul, or did it hit him? Wow.
He's saying that it hit the knob of the bat when he was swinging.
And so that therefore it should be a foul.
Right.
Instead, if it's obviously hit by the pitch but swing and miss, it's a strikeout. And Link Jarrett's coming to the defense of Max Williams in discussion with Travis Carlson.
Yeah, and Link Jarrett is basically telling Max Williams, I need you to stop. You need to get to that dugout. I can't have you get rung up. They'll get this straightened out. I definitely did hear the ping. There was definitely a ping when he swung.
You're allowed to challenge hit by pitch.
This ball up and in. I mean, it's tough.
Out informing the audience, whether that's on television or in the ballpark, of exactly what's happening. And we're making strides in that direction. But we'd like to encourage everyone at all levels of baseball to continue that effort.
I do. I like it.
8th pitch of the plate appearance on the way from Talon. And Williams stays alive. Those are definitive fouls. 47 pitches for James Talon. Swing and a miss. Williams strikes out on a darting slider.
Boy, what an AB here. This was a battle going back and forth, a lot of foul balls, but then gets that slider down and away, and Williams ends up chasing.
So the second strikeout for James Talon, who now gets another crack at Cam Smith. 6 straight first pitch strikes, and that continues against Smith, the sophomore.
I was wondering what pitch he was going to throw. Does he go back to that fastball and maybe try to surprise Cam Smith? Nope, you're getting a slider, young man.
Draft eligible. Kylie McDaniel, our MLB insider, has Cam Smith 15th on Kylie's draft board. And Link Jarrett said to us on the field pregame, I wish we had Cam Smith for one more year. Said, give me one more year and he's the number one pick next year. Bouncing ball right side at Logan Bravo. Inning over. 1-2-3, and Jameson is where? First pitch swinging, and that's pop foul by Wallace Clark. So right now, D1 baseball is doing yeoman's work updating this, it feels like every hour. Projects the top 16 national seeds like this. Tennessee is going to play for the SEC Tournament Championship game right here on ESPN2 later today.
And where they sit.
Old Elliott Avent has the Wolfpack pretty much as hot as anyone in the country.
I mean, that is just a very good team, top to bottom. And it's just been really hot. Talk about a team that went out and swept Wake Forest to end their ACC season.
And again, if you're just joining us, Florida State penciled into a top 8. That's pretty much secure, regardless of the outcome today, it sounds like, according to the prognosticators. And for Kyle Johnson and Duke, they weren't part of that top 16. But they've got a very good case. And should they win this, a marquee win, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And I think when you look at Florida State, should they be a top 8 seed? I believe they should be, regardless of what happens today. But I think if they win today, it definitely solidifies that spot. For Duke, they should be a top 16 if they're able to win this ACC tournament.
An incredible rise for the Duke program, who has never hosted a regional. Kyle Johnson had the 2-run double his first time, and he works a walk here to put 2 aboard for Duke, already up by 3 in the title game. We'll see if that does it for Noah Short at 41 pitches for Link Jarrett and company.
I wouldn't be surprised if Link Jarrett goes out there and pulls Short.
Link Jarrett has always won with the walkie-talkie when it comes to the pitching decisions.
He's out there talking. Is he ready? And that's what the walkie-talkie is used for. Is he ready? Is he good? How many more does he need? Do I need to send the catcher out to go ahead and just kind of slow things down to give him more? What I would like to see him a little bit more is before that catcher comes out, you go out. That way you're not using a mound visit. You get 3 from a position player, and you get 3 from the coaching staff. Slider, splitter mix, good fastball, 95 to 97 miles an hour. But the big thing for him, of course, are those free passes.
Zach Morris, the batter. Ball 1. Speaking of the Pac-12, perhaps a little bit geographically challenged.
The Pac-12?
Not just if you're a Beavers fan in Charlotte. Ball and a strike on Morris, who right now is experiencing his 1,000th career plate appearance.
Oh, that's incredible.
It's a lot of baseball.
That's a lot of college baseball.
Top 4, 2 on, nobody out from the former Florida Gator Tejeda. And it's such a cool recruiting story in the transfer process for Zach Morris, who was ticketed for South Carolina, but some things came up in the admissions process. So Zach was looking for a home. Three and 1. We asked Chris Pollard where he was when Zach Morris called him to say he was reconsidering. Pollard was at the DBAP in Durham, and they were in scramble mode themselves. And Zach Morris decided he did, after all, want to become a Blue Devil. He works a 5-pitch walk, and Duke's got him loaded again with nobody out, up by 3 in the 4th.
Man, that's the problem with Tejeda. A really good fastball in that 95-97 range in ball games. It just really lengthens this FSU bullpen.
Ben Miller swings through 96 from Tejeda. He's been sending Link Jarrett Mariano Rivera pictures.
Saying this is what I want to be.
Loaded up 0-1. Clubbed. Left field by Miller. And gone.
My goodness, Ben Miller, 95 miles an hour, in on the hands. Look how he turns on that bad boy. And boy, he knew it. 98.2 miles an hour off the bat, going 401 feet over the pavilion in left field for the grand slam. That is Duke's 7th grand slam this season, 2nd for Miller.
And it's a new program record for single season home runs for the Blue Devils. 1-2 on A.J. Gracia. How about Ben Miller?
Wow.
He's got 14 this season. The Penn transfer has had a whale of a year. Gracia pulls it on a line to right, and James Tibbs, who can't make the catch. Gracia's got a double, and the first 5 have reached for Duke in the 4th inning.
A.J. Gracia, have yourself a championship game. 3 for 3 so far. A double and 2 singles, but nothing bigger so far in this ball game than Ben Miller and what he was able to do with bases loaded. Fastball in, turn those hands. Boy, absolutely crushing this baseball to left field over the pavilion. Boy, those guys are looking at it. They could smell it.
Ben Miller had come to Charlotte chilly. Just 1 for his last 17. Was 3 for 14 in the tournament entering today, but without a home run until that. Ball and a strike on Alex Stone. I mean, just look at the mustache.
And he's keeping the hard hat on. So you take the hard hat off once there's an out after your home run.
Could be a while at this point. Alex Stone is lined out to center and struck out. How about this Duke team? They continue to mash.
That's their 10th home run of the tournament.
And Chris Pollard said it back early in the season that he didn't see it coming with the home runs. He said, I thought we'd hit a lot of doubles because there's athleticism and they got guys that can run. So he thought there'd be a lot of balls in the gap, but not the home runs. Oppo foul. And it was really interesting talking to him on the field. He said, team-wide, that this group has proven to be a lot tougher and more competitive than Chris Pollard thought they were. He said at the end of the fall, and even 2 weeks into the preseason, he told us, I didn't think we were very good. Newsflash, they are.
Oh, boy.
Full count. And now they're on their way toward the NCAA tournament. Perhaps, long way to go in this one, an ACC tournament title. And on the hands, foul. Program that is never hosted, as we said. Could they host at Jack Coombs Field?
I know that they're going to be doing a lot of different renovations over there.
This one floated behind second. Tough play. Coming in, Max Williams takes charge. Makes it easy.
Fun.
Here's Logan Bravo, Harvard transfer from the great state of Massachusetts. Single his first time and then a strikeout. And now facing Tejeda.
You guys have been talking about the Harvard grad, right? So got his major in econ, minor in studio art, all right? So in his spare time, he picked up photography. He told me that during COVID, he needed something to do. He's got an uncle, they call him LA, who inspired him to do that. His Instagram, he's got one. It's got a ton of photography on it. But the other part of this you guys are talking about, he's graduated. We kind of talked about Charlie Bielenson as well, who's all in for the draft. But Logan Bravo told me that he's going to New York July 8th. He's got a finance gig in the city, big city job. But he said he can't wait to continue to play. He's like, I'm not thinking about it too much right now. He's like, I hope I play for as long as I can. Maybe I'm late to work. I don't know. But he's going to New York City for a finance job when this is all over.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
That's your future. This is your present, and this ride with your teammates. Until they're going to turn 25 in a few weeks. Logan Bravo. True or false, you took a class called ballet?
Yes.
At the U?
100% true. And it was a fantastic class. It was a morning class. And it helped you get up and stretch the body out in the morning.
Okay.
We did some leaps. We did some dance. Pirouettes. I was really good at those.
This one popped up to the seats. Define leaps, if you would.
Well, we leaped. You just kind of jump, and that's what they made us do. We go out there, and the teacher would say, okay, we're going to kind of go across the floor, and we're going to leap in the middle. And if you leap the right way, you get an A. And I leapt the right way, and I got an A.
You got an A?
I got an A.
In ballet?
In ballet. It was a fantastic class.
You're nimble.
Very nimble. Quick feet.
Welcome into our home, by the way.
Yeah.
Gabby and Mike with you. And John Madry, one of the ace statisticians in the world, ACC royalty. Good to be with you, my friend.
It is great to be with you, brother.
It's been an awesome week for you guys here in Charlotte. Big title game, 2 proud programs in this conference.
Yeah, I mean, the big title game is great, but for me, it was the lead up to this game that was a lot of fun. A lot of teams needing this. Even these two teams right here, I mean, big for both of these two programs. One for FSU, kind of looking to see if they could solidify that spot, even though I think that they should get a top 8 seed. For Duke, trying to, get themselves a regional host, which the way things are going right now, I think that they definitely should. Teams like Miami Cinderella stories, all of a sudden winning their bracket as an 11 seed, playing a really good game against Duke yesterday. There has just been everything that you've wanted in this tournament. Wake Forest, that game when you had Chase Burns on the mound going up against this FSU ball club, Chase Burns going up against UNC.
Logan Bravo flies out to Max Williams in center, 2 away.
That was probably the coolest game because this place was completely packed out.
It was awesome.
I mean, it was sold out, not even standing room available. Chase Burns striking out 15. Just incredible game, going 12 innings. Couldn't ask for anything more in this tournament.
And now on day 6, angling toward a champion. Duke by 7 in the 4th, 2 outs for Chase Cruson. Has singled, scored, and has a fly out to left. Five runs in the 2nd and 4 on the slam here in the 4th from Ben Miller. First 5 batters reached in this 4th inning for the Blue Devils. 1 and 2. Life's good if you're Ben Miller.
You got everything going if you're Ben Miller right now.
AJ Grassi at 2nd. Tejeda's 1-2. Fouled away. I mean, we're talking about Duke's case to host. They got 13 victories against top 25 opponents. Includes here at the ACC tournament. 7 victories against top 10. 3 of those 7 are on the road. And they've played the toughest RPI schedule in conference this season in the loaded ACC. You can make such a compelling case they should be top 16.
You look where their RPI is right now at 18. That's just going to go up if they are able to win this ball game here. If the game stays right where it's at. And you have to think, especially their record versus top 50.
Croson sends this one in the air to center. And Max Williams inning over. Got a pitching change you saw for Chris Pollard who got fantastic work from James Talent over 3 innings. And now another lefty comes on in Owen Proch. Swing and a miss to start against James Tibbs.
And Proch has a fastball slider changeup combination. The changeup is his key pitch. It's a really good whiff rate in the zone at 57%.
James Tibbs, the ACC Player of the Year, fouls one off himself. How good was James Talent?
Boy, he was really good. I guarantee you that Pollard was very happy about how Talent came out and pitched in today's ball game, going 3 innings, only allowing the 2 hits.
He's got the Jim Schlossnagle approach going with the in-game banana.
You won't cramp?
It's good. James Tibbs, meanwhile, a little bit gimpy after he fouled that one off himself. Soon to be first-round pick, junior from Marietta, Georgia. Lifts this one in the air to left. Cruson comes on and makes the catch. 1 away. Let's check in with Danny Wexelman.
Yeah, you know, guys, last year Owen Proch, really good freshman season, and I asked him, hey, what's been one of the keys for you, the success? And he looked at me and said, it's been catch play, right? We hear a lot about that now, guys taking their catch play really, really seriously. And he said, I'm playing with all my teammates, I'm learning from all of them, but being able to take that part of my game so seriously because, you know, pitching is intense. And so that allows him to kind of take his mind off of all those serious moments and hang out with his teammates and do that. And told me Charlie Bielenson been one of the guys who's been super supportive and very impactful for him this season.
Super interesting. Something as simple as catch play, which again is just pitchers with sort of a focused catch back and forth, working on some things, but not off a mound. Marco Dinges hits a laser in the left all the way to the wall. Dinges has a 1-out double for Florida State here in the 4th inning. How about 114 miles an hour off the bat?
This ball was hammered against a fastball up in the zone, and boy, he did not miss that one. 114 miles an hour, and just getting on his horse because he hit it too hard. Still able to make it to second base.
A laser from Dinges.
So it's not the same as just playing catch. It's called catch play. Same kind of concept.
Similar. It's with a purpose. Jaime Ferrer lifts off left field and gone. 2-run shot for the Noles. Trying to mount a comeback here in the ACC title game. Number 17 on the season for Jaime Ferrer, continuing a career high and his 2nd this week in Charlotte.
Boy, Jaime Ferrer coming up big. Putting up a quick number on the board with his 17th home run on the season. It's a slider, and boy, he got it. He knew it. That ball was 102.9 miles an hour off the bat, 397 feet to left field.
Now Daniel Cantu. I mean, there's a roadmap back into this game, no question, for Florida State. Only in the bottom of the 4th with 1 out and with both teams thinner, of course, on a championship Sunday, having played a bunch this week in tournament action. Cantu pops it into the sunny sky of Charlotte, and Logan Bravo with the shades on is there for out number 2.
And here's the thing, if you're FSU, you know that you have firepower, and this could happen at any moment. Jaime Ferrer giving a little bit of juice to that dugout of FSU with this blast. 2-run shot to left field, and boy, everybody knew it. It's about chipping away. That's all you need to do. If you're able to keep Duke right where they're at, get a couple here, get a couple there, and all of a sudden make this a ball game late.
For the number 10 team in the country, who very likely will be a top 8 national seed. This is Alex Lodis, the shortstop, who walked his first time, and he's down 1-2 against Proch. so many home runs. In Charlotte at the ACC tournament, a record 61. This ballpark, the dimensions, the way it flies, we've had a total combined per game of 15 runs.
Third highest all time. Look at Florida State. They were averaging 11 runs per game coming into this one.
In the tournament.
In the tournament.
They were third in the ACC in runs per game coming in overall the entirety of this season. Full count on Lodi's. The North Florida transfer started at shortstop last year as a true freshman there. Hit 16 home runs. Bouncing ball up the middle, and Wallace Clark has been sturdy defensively this week, and he ends the inning.
Ferrer sparks your offense. What'd you see in that at bat?
Well, he's a good hitter versus the lefties, and they rolled the breaking ball in there, and he got it pretty good. And we're not out of this. You know, we've got some firepower. We just need to settle things down on the mound, and haven't had enough good sequences of pitch combinations to really settle this game. We've given them some free opportunities, and they've taken full advantage. So we've got to somehow settle this game, and Yoel's going back out there, and then we're dialed in for the rest of it down here. So it's a short rope for him at this point, and we're okay. We just got to hang in there on the mound.
You told us pregame, I mean, how much respect you have for this Duke club and what they bring to the table. But this is the championship game. What more do you need to see from your guys?
Well, we have to figure out a way to execute pitches and sequence things. You don't have a lot of breathing room with that lineup. They've got some older guys. They're talented young players, or you would never know they're young players. They're really skilled. So you just have to really execute, or else you find yourself in situations like we have with constant traffic. So the execution led to the base on balls and the hit by pitches, and then a little more lack of execution led to the damaging blows.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, the always thoughtful Link Jarrett.
Yeah, he is one of the most thoughtful coaches you will find in any sport at any level. That's why he's one of the best coaches in this sport. Second year at the helm after his good friend Mike Martin Jr. spent 3 years as the head coach. Devin Obie just bulleted one at 109 off the bat for a leadoff single for Duke in a 5-run game that feels a lot closer in this ballpark and with these offenses, as Link Jarrett just said to Danny.
I mean, it's 100% true. When you talk about what Link Jarrett just finished saying, like, hey, we're still in this. I mean, he knows they've been scoring 11 runs per game in this tournament. So when you look up at the scoreboard and it's 9-4, you're like, that's fine. We've been scoring a whole bunch of runs. We just need to keep Duke from scoring more.
1-2 on Wallace Clark. So year 2 for Link Jarrett after 3 outstanding seasons at Notre Dame. But of course, Link back home starred for the Noles in the 90s. His wife Jennifer, a former cheerleader at Florida State. Backdoor, ooh, didn't miss by much. 2-2 on Clark. Link Jarrett has engineered one of the best turnarounds in all of college baseball this year. 42 wins after just 23 last year. 2-2. That misses the backdoor. Full count. Clark was part of a College World Series team a couple of years ago at Oklahoma. Now playing short for Duke. Runner goes, pitch outside, ball 4, and the first 2 have reached for Duke in the 5th inning.
And I don't think that looks
here for now. It's still Championship Sunday. Selection show tomorrow. And Joe Charles, former Tar Heel, who's had Tommy John in his past, but has been able to make 26 appearances this year, comes on for Florida State down by 5 in the 5th.
Joe Charles came in yesterday's ball game versus Wake, faced 4 batters out here again today. Charles has a good slider fastball combo. Fastball is going to be somewhere in that 85-88 range. Guys are only hitting 185 against his fastball this season and 204 on the slider.
It's been a hammer breaking ball throughout his career. Again, we told you has oozed potential for a long time. In years past at Florida State, they nixed his full windup. They went stretch only with him. And of course, he's working out of the stretch now with 2 aboard for Kyle Johnson. 2-run double in the second, walk and a run scored in the 4th, and a strikeout here. Great breaking ball from Joe Charles, and there's 1 away.
Boy, what a good pitch there by Charles. We talked about the very good slider that he has, and there it was. A lot of break to it, a lot of hard action. Kyle Johnson can't just come up with it.
We had a ball come out from the Duke bullpen on the field, so that gets bowling balled back where it came from. And now Zach Morris. 2 strikeouts, a walk and a run scored in the 4th inning for the VMI transfer. First pitch misses. We were talking about Zach Morris transferring in and how Chris Pollard was telling us that there is a big assist necessary to the Fuqua School of Business at Duke, who worked very hard to get Morris admitted after the admissions deadline. And imagine not having this guy on this Duke team, because when Chris Pollard first called the director of admissions for that program within the school, they were apologetic and said, it's too late. We can't get Zach Morris into school. So they hung up the phone, and then Chris Pollard said, no, I'm not done. He called back and said, we've got to do something here. And they worked on it together. And later that afternoon, got a call back, and they told Chris Pollard, I think we can make this work for Zach Morris.
He said, I can't let this just go that easy. I got to at least pursue this a little bit more.
1-2, and he strikes out. Runner on the move. The throw. Got him from Jackson West to nab Devin Obie. And Joe Charles is fired up.
Big swing right there. I thought we've had great at-bats, great approaches. We've done a really good job of grinding and taking advantage of some free offense. And then, you know, big swing there by Ben.
The offense for Florida State, you know what they're capable of. How do you proceed with your pitching the rest of the game?
We just can't give them freebies. You know, we've got to go at them. They're going to get their hits. They're going to get their swings off. And we just got to try to limit the amount of base runners and the traffic that they have.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Another one of the most thoughtful coaches you will find, who has done an incredible job with the Duke program over the last dozen years.
I mean, what he's able to do in the transfer portal, the guys who he brings in just making huge impacts right away. And then you talk about what he's been able to do with that bullpen, with the arms, with the firepower. Just such an unbelievable coach.
It's incredible. 5 of the last 6 years, they've been to regionals. Before that, they hadn't been since 1961. Supers in 2019. Supers last year as well. This is lifted foul 1-2 on Drew Farrow.
Winning this tournament.
Yep. 2021, you were here for it?
I was. I saw them dogpile on that mound.
Tim Noon, by the way, working for Duke on in relief. 2-2 against Farrow with 8-9-1.
And Tim Noon been really good. Has a good fastball, slider, changeup.
And a breaking ball to the back foot.
Breaking ball. That was a good slider there. It's kind of what we see from him. Plays off that fastball really well with that slider. His velo is going to be somewhere between that 86 to 88 range. He'll throw that fastball up and then just back foot you with that slider.
Now Jackson West takes ball 1. Knowles catcher. Been a great few years, as we said, for Chris Pollard and Duke. 2-0 to West. There's a knee-high strike. Tim Noon is getting the baseball, and he is ready to work.
And here's the thing, too, with Tim Noon trying to get that momentum back, because Florida State, what they were able to do in the bottom of that in the 4th, scoring 2, and then what they did in the top of the 5th with the strike them out, throw them out, You knew all of a sudden there's some life in that Florida State dugout. Just seeing it there with a nice base hit the other way by West.
So 1-on-1 lineup turns over to Max Williams. Like Jared said, there's some firepower in our lineup. Ball one, left on left to Williams. Single up the middle. Strikeout swinging on a slider against James Talon after Williams had run it full. Told you about the big day yesterday for Max Williams. And it started in the morning in the batting cages with some very minor adjustments. Said he was dribbling a lot of balls towards second base, was getting beat on off speed. And so just worked on trying to trust his hands. Go the opposite way, trust who I am as a hitter. I talked to his father the night before, who said, man, you got this. Paid off in a big way. 3-1 on Williams.
And you look at who he faced in that Wake Forest game. It was Charles Hartle, a lefty. So lefty, and boy, he delivered some big hits opposite way, letting that ball travel and just shooting it to left. And then all of a sudden was that big blow in that 6th inning, hitting that breaking ball to right center field.
Skies this one into shallow center. Wallace Clark takes charge, battles the sun. He's got out
Off the bat.
We'll get a mound visit here from Duke's pitching coach Brady Kirkpatrick in his 2nd season. And look who's up in the pen for the Blue Devils. The guy who Chris Pollard has called Everyday Eddie. Not Eddie Guardado, but Charlie Bielenson, one of the best relievers in the entire country, and maybe unmatched with the type of weapon that he is for a pitching staff.
I mean, he was incredible in yesterday's ball game versus UM, going 2 1/3 inning. And guess what? He says, give me the ball. I am ready to go. I want to be out there on that mound every single game.
We said to Chris Pollard on the field this morning, hey, Bielenson up? Is he good? He said, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he definitely is. Bielenson will say, I'm up. And he will pester Pollard so much, you just get out there and pitch them.
So a huge spot here with the dangerous, likely 1st-round pick, Cam Smith, with a man aboard in the 5th. Hammers one on a line to center field. Obi can't get there. Jackson West goes 1st to 3rd, and Florida State's got 2 aboard with 2 outs here in the 5th inning, and that was smoked at 110 off the bat for Cam Smith.
I'll tell you this, that ball was hammered, but what a play by Obi with his angle. He started to cut it off to see if he could catch it in the air, and then kind of just came back just enough. Look at his angle. He was going back, comes in, gets it on that one hop quickly, getting that ball in. Cam Smith could run, and he kept him with a single on that one.
And now James Tibbs rolls the first one at Logan Bravo, and Tim
Control the other just enough.
And it's Ben Miller who leads off with a line drive single into center. 2 hits the last 3 innings for Ben Miller out of Duke's 2 spot.
Hey, here's the thing. We look at the score at 9-4. Ain't going to stay this way because both these teams are swinging the bat. Ben Miller, 2nd straight hit for him. Of course, he had that grand slam. This one line drive nicely right back up the box.
So man aboard for the freshman in the 3 spot, A.J. Gracia. He's had a big day. Single in the 1st. 2-run single in the 2nd. Pull side double at 104 off the bat in the 4th. Against Joe Charles. That was a hanger. 13 home runs you saw for A.J. Gracia. A Duke freshman home run record. Broke that of Andrew Fisher, who hit 11 last year and then transferred to Ole Miss. Upright and open stance, and Gracia lays off. Gracia has also broken the freshman RBI record that was held by Joey Loperfido, and he did it on the same day Joey Loperfido was called up.
Yeah, how about that? You get called up to the big leagues and they say, oh, by the way, sorry, but Your RBI record as a freshman just got broken. You said, I'm good.
It dulls the blow a little bit.
Hey, let them have it. I made it to the show.
Loperfido up to the Houston Astros. Ooh, strike 3 called. And Gracia didn't like it, but goes down by way of the K, and there's one gone.
Slider just a bit off the plate away, but just too close of a pitch to take in that situation. Always tell young hitters, if it's close and you think it might be a strike, just try to foul it off. Get yourself a pitch that's more in the zone that you can drive.
So now Alex Stone. 0 for 3, line out to center, strikeout, swinging, fly out to center. Against Charles, who was coming on strikeout, with a strike him out, throw him out. Single from Miller, another K against Gracia. This is lined up the middle into center field, a base hit for Stone. Hard contact from Miller and Stone, and there's 2 on with 1 out for Duke in the 6th, up 5.
Well, you can see kind of the thought process right now with Duke against Charles of just, hey, take that ball right back up the box. Don't try to pull it. Don't try to get around it. Just hit it right to the big part of the field.
We stopped talking so you could bask in the Logan Bravo walk-up music.
Great. It's fantastic. Now it's going to be stuck in my head for a couple innings.
2 out for him, and he takes a first pitch strike. What's your go-to karaoke song?
How Do You Like Me Now? It's a country song.
Who's it by?
Is it Toby Keith?
Hold, please. Swing and a miss, nothing at 2. Toby Keith.
Yes, I did it.
Would you like to sing it for us?
I can't. I'm not allowed to sing it because then the thing isn't there problems if you sing it, then you have to pay some money. We don't want to do that. I don't want to get in trouble.
On the ground, left side, gently toward Lodi's. Long throw to first. Not in time. Bravo beat it out on a tough play for Lodi's, and Duke's got him loaded with just 1 out.
Well, what a play by Lodi's here, almost coming up big. Probably thinking maybe going to third, you weren't going to be able to get him there. Strong arm across the field. Cantu making a nice pick. Bravo just too fast.
So he loads him up, and now Link Jarrett will come out again. Got a lefty here in Chase Cruson. Then
we'll throw the fastball 81% of the time, 91 to 93 on that velo.
a lot of ride on the heater. Ball 1 to Chase Cruson. Freshman from Pennsylvania who's had a solid second half of the season. He's played a part here in the ACC tournament. Singled in the second. Inside 2-0.
Well, if you're cruising right now, you're looking for one pitch and one pitch alone. Looking for that fastball right down Broadway. That's the only pitch you're looking for. Nothing on the corners, just middle part of the plate.
Loaded up with 1 out. Rowan's 2-0. That misses.
Now you're taking. You are going to make Rowan throw a strike here. Only throws a strike on the fastball 50% of the time.
Gotta spot one here. Oh, couple of close misses, and it walks in a run. 10-4 Duke in the 6th.
This one was the closest one, but you can tell once you see that catcher having to reach as much as he did, you're not going to get the call.
So Link Jarrett comes out again. That was the left on left. And we will see pitcher number 6 for Florida State from Charles to a frustrated Rowan.
Low, is that the icy?
I think so.
Yeah, love that.
Ben Barrett comes on to face Devin Obey with the bases loaded for Duke. Former two-way guy, a sophomore from Orlando, came in with a ton of talent. Breaking ball capped foul, 1-1.
And that's what you're going to see a lot of, the slider. Throws it about 49% of the time, has a fastball too. Will also throw a changeup. Does have a curveball, not necessarily throws it too much, but it really is a lot of sliders.
There's another 2-1. Obey walked in the second, popped out and foul grounded the catcher, and then singled at 109 off the bat his last time leading off the fifth. Hammered. Left field. Ferrer's back, and it's another grand slam for Duke. Ben Miller in the fourth. Devin Obey in the sixth. Devin Obey hit a 455-foot home run last night. Less than 24 hours later, a slam.
My goodness. Devin Obey coming up big. Yeah! Turning right to his crew, saying, here we go.
Wallace Clark bounced one up the middle, and a nice jump throw by Drew Farrow for out number 2. After the grand slam from Devin Obey.
I mean, you have got to be kidding me, Devin Obey. How about this swing? Had not hit a grand slam this season, was 3 for 10, making 4 for 11 now with a grand salami. Second of the day for Duke. 8th grand slam this season.
Third in Charlotte, second today, like we said, for the Blue Devils. A home run in 3 straight games now for Devin Obey, the junior from Nashville. We mentioned 455 yesterday. To put that in context, in Major League Baseball this year, there have only been 13 home runs hit that long, 455. And then he goes out and goes skyscraper.
Skyscraper.
Not as far, but plenty majestic.
I mean, just good exit velo too off of it, 104.8 miles an hour.
There's a strikeout of Kyle Johnson for Burks last night after Duke advanced past Miami in the semifinals to get here to the ACC championship game. Marco Dinges leads off against Tim Noon in the bottom of the 6th. Duke by 10 on Dinges and the Noles. Quick working Noon is behind 3-0. With Gabby Sanchez and Danny Wexelman, Mike Monaco with you. Our entire crew behind the scenes. Producer Joe Taylor, director Johnny Hanna. Leadoff walk, Dinges is on against Noon. Devin Obey crushed one. If you're just joining us, these are 2 top 20 teams in the country. Ben Miller's got a grand slam as well. Playing on Championship Sunday. We're less than an hour away from the SEC Tournament Championship game in Hoover, Alabama. And the selection show is tomorrow at noon.
That's going to be interesting tomorrow at noon. I cannot wait.
Here's Jaime Ferrer. Cracked a 2-run home run to the pull side and left his last time in the 4th inning. For Florida State, ticketed to be a top 8 national seed, and Duke trying to vault into the top 16, where they would host next weekend in regionals. Back foot breaking ball misses, and it's 6 straight out of the zone from Noon. That'll get Brady Kirkpatrick out. You're going.
We're going
everything.
deep. Let's see if we can get some free food up here.
What would be top on your list?
Top what?
Food.
You know what?
Concession.
There is a a barbecue concession right behind home plate. Phenomenal food. I've had a couple of different things from there. Gone down and got myself some stuff, some macaroni and cheese and some brisket. It's been great.
Couple of strikes, full count. Ferrer didn't think so. Did it come with a side of meat sweats?
No, it was good actually. I mean, the sweat comes from the humidity.
Yeah, that's true too.
It's been nice in here. The Dippin' Dots.
Please. Which I think I heard you guys talking about this. Has been the ice cream of the future for way too long, to still be the ice cream of the future.
It was the ice cream of the future when I was a kid, so you know it's way too long.
Me too. Another walk, 2 on for Florida State, down by 10.
Yeah, this is definitely not what you want them doing. And they do have a couple guys up in the bullpen, or one guy up in the bullpen to get ready. And you know that Pollard is looking at it going, okay, hey, we're going to have to get somebody going here. Last thing you want is to give FSU a chance. And if you're FSU, you got to be able to score here.
Jimmy Romano, the righty. Daniel Cantu, the left-hand hitter. Strikeout, pop out, and foul ground. Cantu, the USF transfer in his first season at Florida State. 23-year-old who spent 4 years at South Florida. 3-year starter there.
Yeah, you guys, I talked to Jaime Ferrer earlier today, and I said, you know, you've got so many veteran guys, transfer guys here, who's been one of the most impactful. He pointed to Cantu. He said, this guy, unbelievable job. He's been so great for us offensively, defensively. He's the glue guy, and he's got the experience, he said. He's like, he was 1 game away from getting to Omaha, and what he's done in college, man, that's passed on to us. But he pointed to Cantu.
You love a good glue guy.
Love a
glue guy, yeah.
Wexy, how you doing down there, by the way?
Well, I'm getting asked for balls right now. People think I can give them balls. I can't give them balls, guys.
You can give them balls. Of course
Listen,
you can.
no.
There's got to be some balls down
Once you
there.
start, you can't stop, you know? Once you start, you can't stop, dude. Let's see. They all want to come down.
Is it warm down there?
Guys,
Where
yeah.
are you? Oh, there you are.
I deserve the Dippin' Dots, don't I?
You do.
I think
You want
so.
the Dippin'
We'll
Dots
be
or
the
the
judge
ice
of
cream?
that.
Gabby takes care of me.
There's that homemade ice cream down below. That one looks pretty good.
One of each, please.
Alex Lodi's the batter. Danny, how you getting out of here? You driving a car, or is Gabby driving, or what?
You know I don't really drive much. You don't want me to drive. I'll probably take a bike. I'll scooter home.
Do we know what a sedan is at this point?
Listen, it's been a big vocabulary lesson this whole week. Mike Farron was learning words yesterday. I'm learning what a sedan is. I haven't driven much in the last 10 years, guys, so cars...
That's a crossover.
Cars go over my head, okay? I take the subway. Leave me alone.
Just to be clear, Danny has driven a sedan, but wasn't exactly familiar with the
Did
sedan.
not know what the sedan was when we asked.
I wasn't familiar that a car is also a sedan, but here I am letting everyone know.
I'm sorry,
familiar with
Danny.
cars.
I'm getting
It's okay.
crushed for
Nice.
having to Google that it was Toby Keith. I'm getting crushed for that. How about Johnny Hanna, our director and the camera crew?
Here's a
Truly Johnny on the spot, finding a car driving by at
great.
top speed. That is a sedan. 2-2 on Lodi's.
We should have more fun on the broadcast.
No. Button it up, dude.
Did a button come off? Oh,
By the way, you've been real good with this short sleeve shirt all
I
season.
love this short sleeve shirt. I need to buy myself like 5 more of them.
8th pitch to Lodi's. And Noon drops in a beautiful breaking ball. Back-to-back Ks, 2 gone in the 6th.
Boy, after 2 walks, all of a sudden get dialed right back in. Good slider down and away.
Like Jared Lev shaking his head. Now Drew Farrow. You know, speaking of real quotable things and people who are self-deprecating, Eduardo Perez last year in Omaha said that hindsight was 50-50 and then made us all t-shirts that said hindsight is 50-50. Eduardo, a newly minted Florida State Hall of Famer. We've heard from him. He's watching throughout this weekend.
He is watching. I'm getting some texts from him.
0-2. Farrow pulls it past Wallace Clark into left field. Loaded up with 2 outs in the 6th inning.
Yeah, smart hold there. Down by 10, last thing you want to do is get a runner thrown out on the bases. You want your hitters just to continue to come up and get base knocks. And West, last AB, he got a hit, so he's coming up with bases loaded.
4 left on left for him. Jackson West against Tim Noon. Dinges, Ferrer, and Farrow aboard. Ball 1. West has rolled back to the mound and then singled to the backside. 2-0. As many balls as strikes this inning. 31st pitch of the inning is a check swing floater to Clark, who's got it to end the inning. Florida State. Swing and a miss to start from Zach Morris, the leadoff man. 3 punch outs and a walk and a run scored for the first team All-ACC second baseman against Ben Barrett. Both these teams awaiting their fate tomorrow with the selection show. And Duke trying to lock up an ACC tournament title 9 outs away. It's going to be real interesting to see the health on both sides pitching wise as well before next weekend. Duke at 38 wins, 3 wins already here. 3 for Florida State as well. Morris bounces one up the middle, and it's past Lodis into center.
You guys, yeah, Mike, you guys were talking about OB, the Grand Slam, right? You showed that. Well, this morning I asked hitting coach Eric Tyler about it. I said, hey, what'd you think? What was your reaction? He said, I don't get caught off guard much. And then he mixed in another word that, you know, we can't use, as Mike Monaco says. And then I asked him after that Grand Slam, I said, which one was better? He said, listen, the one yesterday was farther, but I liked this one a lot more.
Impressed by the ultra-talented Devin Obie. Defense has always been there. Power's always been there. Chris Pollard said to us this morning the hit tool is catching up and the chase rate is way down. Ben Miller sharply toward third and foul at Cam Smith. Where does Duke rank in this conference among most talented teams? Or if you want to frame it this way, most likely, most capable of getting to Omaha?
I think it's very high because of what they have in that bullpen.
How high?
If I had to rank it, to be honest, I'm going to get yelled at and tweeted at, but I think they're the second best team in the ACC in my opinion. I do. I think power-wise with their bats, I think their bullpen and their pitching is just outstanding. And when you're talking about playoff games, you're talking about regionals, what do you need? You need pitching, you need defense. They're really good in both, and then they have firepower like we've seen today with their bats.
And that's behind
UNC.
Carolina?
Yeah, UNC for me is the best team. Nothing taken away from Clemson. I know that they're really good top to bottom, but I just feel like this Duke team is just made to go out there and win, you know, these kind of series, especially the way that they're playing right now.
Home run hitting lineup for Chris Pollard. Miller skies another. Left center field toward the wall and gone. Ben Miller's second of the ball game, and it is a Duke onslaught in the title game.
And on cue, this is one of the big reasons why. They have just been overpowering the baseball out of this stadium. Ben Miller, 2 home runs today, 3 hits. This is a slider, left up. And this ball just powered out of this ballpark.
So he's already hit a grand slam, which, oh, by the way, with Devin Obie, made Duke the first team in ACC tournament history to hit multiple grand slams in a game. And now he's got a 2-run tank. AJ Gracia lines out to Jaime Ferrer in left for the first out of the 7th. Well, kind of case in point, right? Like, you're just talking about how talented this team is, and they've hung 16 on a top 10 team in Florida State.
And this Florida State team is a very good team, and they do have depth in their pitching. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we're looking at this Florida State team in the College World Series, and that's how good they are. I mean, I really do feel like there's a potential 4 teams easily that can make it to the College World Series, maybe even 5. Like, they have that type of potential.
And then we're talking about where they fit in talent-wise. And that health that we mentioned earlier, 2-0 on Alex Stone, by the way. And Jonathan Santucci and Kyle Johnson are going to be ready to go, it sounds like, next weekend. Again, Jonathan Santucci, 45th on Kylie McDaniel's draft rankings. First team All-ACC, has been out the last 3 weeks with a rib cage injury. But through a bullpen yesterday, Chris Pollard told us the ball was really jumping out of his hand. Really encouraging. He's going to throw another bullpen Tuesday, and if that goes well, he's good to go next weekend. Chris Pollard said to us, now they would be smart with him. They would probably get 50 to 60 pitches from him first time out.
Yep.
But even that is a lot for a pitching staff for Duke for 2 years now that's been very versatile. Strike 3 called. Stone goes down.
Well, you think about it, right? If he's able to go 50 or 60 pitches, that means he's probably able to get you into that 5th, the way that he's been able to throw the baseball this year. And in doing that, all of a sudden, now you're helping out that bullpen. You're not having to use so many guys. You look at a guy like Bielenson, who's able to cover like 3 innings anyways, where if you're able to go 5, you really only have to cover 1 or 2 innings to be able to get the ball to him.
Here's Logan Bravo. And then along those same lines, Kyle Johnson, who hasn't pitched this week. We told you the freshman getting some rest. He's going to be ready to roll next weekend, is what Chris Pollard said to us. Same idea, 50 to 60 pitches. And Chris Pollard said they're basically going to be extended openers.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, Johnson, and he's 94, 95 from the left side. Good breaking ball. Once you're able to have those kind of guys go out there and at least fill in 4 innings, maybe 5, that, I mean, with the way that this bullpen throws the baseball, it makes it really tough on the opposing team.
To third, Cam Smith ends the inning.
Everybody kind of coming together. I think this is the year that you're going to see them in that College World Series.
They've been so close. Ben Miller's got 2 home runs in this game. Zach Morris, the VMI transfer, has been massive. And Duke is pretty loaded. We mentioned Jonathan Santucci and Kyle Johnson. Think about this. They're 9 outs away from an ACC championship without getting a single pitch this week from either guy.
And that's why they are so just deep. They're loaded.
Max Williams, 1 hop swung to Wallace Clark for the first out. Kyle Johnson could step back onto the bump, give you 50 or 60. Charlie Bielenson, who has been on display a couple of times this week, got up during this game. Yes, him. Is likely not going to have to come in the way this one's going.
I don't know. He might pester Pollard so much that he says, just go out there and throw an inning then.
Well, right now it's Jimmy Romano, junior from New Jersey. Second year is a real piece in this staff. Good breaking ball to start out to Cam Smith, the likely first-round pick.
And Jimmy Romano, 1-1 this season, and that's what you look at, 31 strikeouts in 21 2/3. good fastball slider mix. Fastball is going to be 92 to 95. Really good slider. Has a 54% whiff rate on it.
Which is as good as it gets, essentially, is a swing and miss pitch on a slider.
I mean, and you talk about a guy with a fastball of 92, 95, that's going to play.
Good heater there. Induces a ground ball to Clark, and a nice pick by Logan Bravo for out number 2.
And it's fun having a first baseman over there that can just pick anything that you throw at him. We've seen that from Bravo so far this whole entire tournament. Really good first baseman.
Best picking first baseman you ever saw?
Derek Lee.
No question.
Freddie Freeman, too. Freddie Freeman's also a good one. But this is what I love. You see where that thumb down, give you a big, pocket.
Glove hand, thumb down.
Glove hand, thumb down. You're going to have that big pocket. That ball's going to come up, stick right into the mitt. I think nice little A2000 he's got over there. Kind of looks like my crab claw from Rawlings.
What's your crab claw from Rawlings?
It's that same kind of situation there where that ball smacked.
Squared up by the ACC Player of the Year, James Tibbs, 2-out single.
It's just a type of style of glove where I loved it a lot. I did use a lot of A2000s too. Use Rawlings and Wilson. But it's just the pocket that you see. And you just got that deep. You can see how deep that pocket is in there. So when that ball sticks in there, you're just holding on tight.
Logan's almost trying to hide it from our cameras. He's fidgety. So Tibbs is on it. Here's Marco Dinges, cleanup man who's doubled and walked. And the contact's been loud. He's one of the top exit velocity leaders in the country. Fly out to center in the first was 107 off the bat. Double in the fourth was a mere 114 miles an hour. With 2 outs, 1-0, he lays off. Bottom 7, and this is Generoso James Romano, full name.
Generoso James Romano. That's a heck of a name right there. Distinguished.
Good Irish boy. Up high, 3-1. Coming on here for Duke, up by a dozen. His 14th pitch misses inside, and Dinges walks to put 2 on for Florida State with 2 away. So Jimmy Romano will now get Jaime Ferrer. All ACC Puerto Rico native, has a 2-run home run and a walk his last 2 times. Real aggressive hitter. Recently has been dealing with a nagging injury in the hand wrist area. We'll get a mound visit here to Romano. In this beautiful ballpark in Charlotte, North Carolina, Truist Field. Gorgeous. So 1-0 on Ferrer, who throughout his career has been hit by a ton of pitches. It's part of the wear and tear on the body. A couple of years ago, Jaime Ferrer got hit 23 times.
Ooh.
Do you know the major league record in one season for hit by pitches? Either the number or the player.
I'm going to just guess something in the 43 range.
Bouncing ball. It's 51. Clark to the bag to retire Ferrer. They would have gone to Omaha then. They went to Game 3 of a Super Regional in 2018 against Texas Tech. All on this journey to try to get back to the Men's College World Series for the first time since that 1961 season. Up by a dozen, 8th inning, and Chase Cruson Singles into center against Brady Lauk.
I'll tell you this, Duke just continues to come out and just swing it. They are not content, even with that 16-4 ball game. They're saying we want more. Lauk on the mound, fastball slider mix. Does have a few other pitches like a split finger, and we'll throw a changeup, a sinker, but for the most part, it's that fastball slider.
Heavy usage on the heater, and he's facing Devin Obie. The grand slam is last time, and he tees off to center with Williams back to make the catch. One away. Can see the confidence that Devin Obie's got right now based on this week with a home run in 3 straight. But Lauk handles him there. Out of Plainfield, Illinois. 5'10", makes his 14th appearance.
And this is nice to just get some work in. Playing in a meaningful game, getting out here. I think all of these games really help, especially when you're looking ahead. You know that you're going to probably be hosting a regional for sure. I would say you should be hosting a super regional. You should be a top 8 seed if you're FSU.
And getting healthier as far as pitching goes. 2-0 on Wallace Clark, the Oklahoma transfer. We were talking about Link Jarrett, who loves the depth of his pitching staff. Pointed out to us, we have 9 different guys with saves. All anchored by Jamie Arnold, one of the best pitchers in the country. First team All-ACC. And with Cam Leiter getting ready to hopefully return, as we told you earlier, through a pen this morning. How about what Cam Leiter said afterward to Link Jarrett? Cam Leiter, who is always intense, UCF transfer, potential first-round pick in the future. He said, "Coach, if I was pitching against you, I would have struck you out twice, and you would have had an opposite field single."
Yep. And what did Link Jarrett say? He said, "That makes me 1 for 3. I'm a Hall of Famer. I'll take it."
This dude's bouncing off the mound after a pen saying, "Coach, I would have punched you twice." That is strike 3 called. Throw down. Not in time to get Chase Cruson as Wallace Clark goes down by way of the can. There's 2 gone.
That's just funny. I think he gave his coach a hit too. You know, like, I'll throw out the gold medal, Ben Miller, done.
Book it. Daniel Cantu against Jimmy Romano.
It's perfect still.
Fans too.
I'm serious. Hockey has the playoff beard. Maybe baseball will do the playoff mustache.
On the ground, right side and into right center for Daniel Cantu. I think they've already done the playoff mustache.
Well, they got to keep it going, because both these 2 teams are going to still be in it.
Cantu is on for the first time today.
Well, that's the playoff beard. Takes you a while to try to grow a beard, doesn't it?
Thank you. Yes, it does. Considerable amount of time. My whole life so far.
Hey, you might not like it now, but you'll like it later when you don't have to shave.
Saves you some shaving.
Oh, razors start to get expensive after a while.
By the way, Kyle Peterson is the master of well-manicured beards. He's standing by the way, with the crew down in Hoover, Alabama. KP, Chris Burke, Tom Hart, Chris Budden. And that game will start, by the way, on ESPNU and SEC Network. And then we'll come out here on ESPN2 when this game wraps up.
See, I got the playoff beard going. But
how long did it take to grow that?
Like a day and a half.
What are your final takeaways from here at the ACC tournament with an eye toward the postseason and what we're going to see from the ACC?
Well, definitely 8 teams, in my opinion, should get in from the ACC, if not 9. I just think that the ACC has been incredible all season long.
Alex Lodies flies out to right.
And when you kind of look at the type of play that we've seen throughout this tournament, and then the type of play that we've seen throughout the year, I was telling people the other day, like, this season has just flown by for me. And it wasn't because of anything other than every single game was an extremely good game to watch. A lot of really good players on the field. You saw really good arms. The ACC is going to give people fits when they have to either host or when they're going to a regional. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see 4 ACC teams in that College World Series.
On top of that, guys, how about what the coaches have been saying about it too, right? You got J.D. Arteaga, who's been a part of the ACC, whether he's playing, coaching, talking about how he's never seen the ACC this stacked, right? You talk to all the coaches, you talk to the guys who are playing in this league, the talent, you were talking about the draft eligible guys too, those first-round picks that are littered around the field here and what the ACC has done all season. I mean, it's been a treat, but it goes toe-to-toe with the SEC, in my opinion.
Sure does. And so many of the coaches in this league have been banging that drum this season.
Yeah. Deservingly so. I mean, we've been doing this for, what, 5 years now? This is the best this ACC has been in those 5 years by leaps and bounds, too. It's not even close.
Drew Farooq
has done today in this championship game? How could you not? I mean, they have been incredible all season long. That is a newborn baby.
One of, or perhaps assuredly the newest ACC baseball fan.
My goodness.
2 outs. This is Jackson West, the Florida State catcher. It's going to be really sweet to see Florida State, for everyone around that program, to have them hosting at Dick Hauser again after their historic streak of 44 straight NCAA tournaments came to an end last year, but now right back to business this year. 1-2. Slapped the opposite way into left field by West. They wave around Cantu. Strong throw, the pick, the tag. Got him. Chase Cruson does. Getting a chance here. 5th-year guy who's had nearly 500 career plate appearances. And we told you earlier, is basically a genius. He has built a model for evaluating transfers in the portal. And word is the Duke staff themselves have looked at it. And you said it earlier, he can name every World Series winner going back, I forget exactly what it is.
Since the beginning of time.
Essentially. And if you haven't seen it, go find it.
It's pretty impressive.
It only took him 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Headed toward a career in investment banking. Pops it foul against Brady Lauk. Ball and a strike on one of the vets and one of the leaders on this team. Two and one. Hard hit, line drive center field, and a base knock at 104 off the bat for the analytically inclined Chad Knight.
You know what I love the most? The reaction from the dugout more than anything else. As soon as that ball left Chad Knight's batting boy, he hammers this fastball right back up the box. I mean, that's a good swing. Staying behind it, staying back, that front foot lands, backside comes through. But as soon as that ball got hit, that whole entire dugout hands were in the air.
One of the key pieces over those 5 years at Duke. He's on to lead off the 9th inning with Duke up 12. One and one on Zach Morris, who's walked and scored, and also singled and scored from the leadoff spot. We told you VMI transfer. Who flies one into right and struck well. And to the track and no more. One away. All right, so league-wide, talked about Duke, talked about Florida State. You really like North Carolina, and rightly so. Does it feel like they've gone a little bit under the radar nationally?
I really do. When you look at North Carolina, and of course, the whole entire thing would be about that starting pitching, but DeCarro's done a really good job, especially as a freshman in that Friday night spot. He's done great.
Who was 17 up until the middle of April.
Yeah, 17 until like 3 weeks ago when he turned 18. I just think the firepower, too, in their lineup, top to bottom, being able to go righty-lefty, righty-lefty, righty-lefty makes it really tough on an opposing coach to bringing in pitchers. You look at Clemson, they've been playing extremely good baseball all season long.
Ben Miller lifts this one in the air to right center for out number 2.
You look at Virginia, arguably one of the best hitting teams in the NCAA. You know, you look at their rankings in hitting, they're in the top 10, basically almost every single category. NC State has been playing really good against every single buddy. I think NC State has like 12 wins coming into this tournament against the projected number 1 and 2 seeds. That's most in NCAA baseball. You can just kind of go on and on about with all of these teams, and that they can just go out and win whatever, you know, regional they're either going to host or win any regional that they're going to be in.
2-0 on EJ Gracia.
You look at a Georgia Tech team, firepower with the bats. Of course, the question mark for them is to be that pitching, but they can out-slug teams. That's going to be a 3-seed team that you probably do want to be facing.
No. And they've kind of bucked the trend a little bit on what the book has been on Georgia Tech in recent years in terms of the pitching. They've had pitching stability, especially in the weekend rotation this year, in a way that maybe they didn't the last few years. And you always know about that offensive ability. And we said it earlier, 6 out of the 10 series in the ACC they won.
Yeah.
Screams NCAA tournament to many.
Yeah, me too.
Ooh. Gracia gets aboard for the 4th time in this game in 6 trips. 2 on with 2 out for Duke. You know, last year was real interesting for the ACC in the big picture. SEC has won 5 of the last 6 national titles. Wake Forest, though, was the number 1 headed there last year. Number 1 for a lot of the season. Virginia was there as well. With that loaded offense that there always is for Brian O'Connor and Kevin McMullen. And we'll see who out of the ACC and how many, perhaps is the better question, get there this year.
Yeah, really. I mean, I'm telling you, I would not be surprised at all if 4 teams. I mean, I think there's a potential for 4 teams to be able to get to the College World Series with what they have stuff-wise and team-wise and the way that they're able to play this game.
That's a strike to Alex Stone.
And the other thing, too, when you kind of look at the ACC and the grind that they've had to be in these games of just going back and forth with other teams in the ACC and that type of play, that's going to help them out for regionals because they've been battle-tested.
The fun all starts tomorrow with the selection show. And then regionals begin on Friday. And again, if you haven't given squeeze play a chance, make this the year. It's like Red Zone if you're an NFL fan. And it's about as good a way as you can consume everything that's happening around the country as you'll find in this sport.
I don't know how the professor does it, man. It's impressive.
Oh, Coach Rooney?
Yeah, the professor, Coach Rooney. Because, I mean, being able to do that many teams and the way that he's able to do that with the octobox. Let's get quadratic. I mean, you gotta love it.
Him, Schick, Budden, Berkey.
I mean, the work that they do is incredible.
Just saw Berkey and Hoover. He's in rare form, ready to go.
He's in rare form.
Bouncing ball toward third. And that'll do it in the top of the 9th. Duke trying to finish this up.
Days ago, he said, I'm fully committed. I want to get drafted. I don't have a job lined up. I didn't want to overpromise if I committed to a job and then I got drafted. I didn't want to do that to them. That's how thoughtful Charlie Bielenson is. But I just saw him in the dugout a couple innings ago, guys. Crushed a Snickers, bouncing around. He wanted to get out there. Here he is.
Gives up a single to start things off here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Served up to Diamez, or rather Jordan Williams, batting there in the leadoff spot. Well, I think he's selling himself a little bit short. Charlie Bielenson is on potential job offers because Chris Pollard will tell anyone who will listen, and he is insistent, and he's not prone to hyperbole, that Charlie Bielenson 2 years from today will be pitching in the major leagues. He reiterated that to us on the field pregame and said to us, I think he's the type of guy that a team like the Rays will want a different look in their bullpen. And Chris Pollard said you bring in a guy like Bielenson, and the Rays would do this in the 7th inning for 1 inning. It's a different look, and he can bounce back and pitch every single day. And so because of that, Chris Pollard said to us, I think by the end of the summer, Charlie Bielenson is going to be pitching in Double-A.
Yeah, I mean, high praise by Coach Pollard. And he was like, yeah, he'll be pitching in Double-A. I can see him easily pitching in the big leagues. See, I think it's even better than that. I think he's more of a 2-inning guy.
Cal Fisher on the ground to short the turn. In time for 2 for Charlie Bielenson. Chuck gets the twin killing, and Duke's 1 out away.
And there he is. I mean, I feel like he's this type of pitcher. He's going to be able to roll a lot of ground balls. And boy, they made this look really easy. 6-4-3. Bielenson loves it. Give me the ball back. Let's get one more out.
Charlie Bielenson trying to finish this thing off. Diamez Ross caps one foul. Think about a Duke program here that has turned things around the last half dozen years, led by Chris Pollard. Second ever trip to the ACC championship game and trying to win another league title. 1-1. The 1-1. On the ground, right side towards second. Morris on the move, and Duke has won the ACC championship.
has done today in this championship game, how could you not? I mean, they have been incredible all season long. That is a newborn baby.
One of, or perhaps assuredly the newest ACC baseball fan.
My goodness.
2 outs. This is Jackson West, the Florida State catcher. It's going to be really sweet to see Florida State, for everyone around that program, to have them hosting at Dick Hauser again after their historic streak of 44 straight NCAA tournaments came to an end last year, but now right back to business this year. 1-2. Slapped the opposite way into left field by West. They wave around Cantu. Strong throw, the pick, the tag. Got him. Chase Cruson does